Ashika Pratt from Heroes Agency. Welcome to my Ghosties show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And the spiel is that I interview the models that come and see me on Ghosties for work, ostensibly. And I interview them about their life stories and their career in modelling so far. And I always start off by asking, Ashika, where are you from?
I'm from New Zealand.
Yes. You're a Kiwi?
But I'm a Kiwi, but I'm half Indian. My mother's Fijian Indian and my father's English.
Now, is that a common mix for growing up in New Zealand?
No, not really.
Not really?
No.
Are there Fijian Indians? Is there a population in New Zealand?
Yes, there are a lot. There's Indians and then there's a lot of Fijian Indians.
Now, what's the difference?
So my mum's full Indian, but she was born and brought up in Fiji. So she's third generation Indian born in Fiji. And then I'm first generation in New Zealand.
So there's 3 generations worth of Indians born and living in Fiji?
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of Indians in Fiji.
Do you know what that...
Well, it was the British.
It was the British. It
was
the British.
The
colonial...
Yeah.
Oh my God. So did they take Indians to work plantations and things?
Sugar cane.
There you
farms,
go.
Yeah.
Have you been to Fiji?
I haven't. No, I haven't been.
When did your mother go from Fiji to New Zealand?
I think she was like 16 or something. She went to high school in New Zealand and then stayed in New Zealand.
Do you know what the purpose was that her parents
did that?
School?
Better schools in New Zealand.
Okay,
and they were both teachers, so it was really important for them, so they sent.
What's the proximity between Fiji and New Zealand?
I think it's a 3-hour flight.
So it's close.
Yeah.
It's the same neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a boat ride or whatever it
close.
is. Okay. And do you know what years this would have been? This is your mum growing up from a young age in New Zealand.
Yes.
Does she consider herself mainly Indian and of Indian heritage and culture, or a Kiwi?
I think that she's culturally Indian,
Mm-hmm.
but she's a Kiwi. She sounds like a Kiwi.
So, yes, Indian culture tends to be quite insular, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And adheres to traditions and stuff like that, especially in foreign lands.
Yeah, very much so.
So, were her parents like that? Did she have to break away like first generations do?
Yeah, I mean, all of her brothers and sisters moved from Fiji pretty much and started lives in New Zealand or Australia. So it was new for their parents to see that. Yeah,
absolutely. How did your mum and dad meet? What's your mum's name, by the way?
Usha.
Usha?
Yeah.
Wicked. How did they get together?
My parents met at university in New Zealand, in Auckland.
Okay.
So my dad was from England and he was working in New Zealand and then he was part-time studying and they just met there through friends.
So he went all the way to New Zealand from England to study?
No, he went for a job and then he just went back to school and finished his degree in New Zealand.
And was making that transition to becoming an expat proper an easy one, or did you have to really want to live in New Zealand? Is it a process?
My dad always wanted to leave. He was from Liverpool.
Was he?
Yeah, and I love Liverpool, but it's a little bit.
Like
it can be a little bit sad.
It's not Auckland. It's not Auckland. It's freaking.
I think he
grim.
just wanted to get out and do. He'd lived around the world. He'd lived in Germany and all over the place, and I think that was like.
What was he studying, and what did he do? What did he do as a living?
English, business. I think his degree was in business in the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how they met?
Yeah, university.
Oh yeah, you really. Sorry.
Yeah, I think just through mutual friends. I'm not sure exactly.
Okay. Are you an only child?
No, I have 2 sisters.
There's a
three
lot of
of
three
us.
sisters.
Oh really? It's a theme.
It is definitely a theme. Chekhovian, 3 sisters. So where do you come in the birth order?
I'm middle child.
And typically thus?
Sorry?
Typically middle child syndrome?
I don't know. Maybe someone else would say that about. I don't know. I am different. I'm very different
from them.
Yes.
Okay, what's your zodiac sign?
I'm Taurus.
And what are they?
My older sister's Taurus and my younger sister's Gemini.
Okay. And is there any favoritism involved?
I feel like the baby's always the favorite, no matter what.
Okay, well that's part of the middle child problem, isn't it?
But I don't actually mind.
You don't mind?
I want her to be the favorite because she's my favorite. She's the baby to me as well.
Okay. So she was always cute?
Yeah.
Were you pretty growing up? Did you consider yourself so? And what kind of childhood did you have and what kind of kid were you?
I don't think I ever thought about being pretty. I was different. I looked different than anyone I grew up with, really. Me and my sisters were the only ones at my school that kind of looked like us.
Okay. How did that affect you, being the minority?
I think I didn't really think about it until probably like 8 or 9. I remember this kid coming up to me and asking why my dad was white, and I was like, I don't know.
Right, right.
I was like, I never thought about it. And I asked him, and he's like, well, sometimes that's just how it is.
Is your dad very English? Did he?
Yeah.
So he maintained his Liverpudlian
I
roots.
think other people would know that he sounds
Yeah.
English. To me, it's not so strong. When he talks to his family, then yeah, it comes out stronger.
Right.
But
right.
he doesn't have that Liverpool
Right.
accent. Yeah.
Have you been back to England?
Yes, I have. I lived in London for 2 years before I moved.
Did
over
you?
here.
Okay. So, did you know anything about fashion growing up whatsoever?
Not really, honestly. I mean, I love working in this industry, but I'm not very into fashion. I enjoy fashion, but it's not like a passion of mine.
Right. And so, how did that start? What was the beginning of
I feel like it's just that typical like model
You were
story.
scouted.
I
You
was
were scouted.
scouted, walking down the street.
Where, in Auckland?
In Auckland. I did a beauty pageant first.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay. So,
It's really embarrassing.
how did
I have it on video, but I've never shown anyone.
How did that happen?
I just got scouted and they were like, do you want to do this? And my mum was like, we should do it.
Oh, right. So, your mum
And
was ambitious.
For the beauty pageant part, I thought she thought it
yeah.
was exciting. And it was when I did it.
Yes.
And then I got a modeling contract through that. And then I finished high school and then left straight away.
So, your sisters aren't models also?
No.
They're not. And have no desire to be?
No. I mean, we all look very different and
Yes, exactly.
interested in very different things.
Do they envy you and the career that you've had?
I don't think so.
They're proud of you and
They are.
and supportive and following what you're
They
doing. What did you want to be when you grew up? As
I
a child?
wanted to be a writer.
Were you good at school?
I was okay.
Okay.
I was okay. I loved English. I wouldn't say I was very good, but I enjoyed it.
Right.
I did a lot of sports. So I also wanted to be a
Okay.
competitive like cross-country runner or like a high jumper
Oh,
or something like
wicked.
that.
Right, athletics.
It didn't work out. Yeah.
It didn't. Now, what is it about sport that you liked? Was it an expression of your competitive nature? Did you like winning? Did you like just the physicality of the body in space and motion?
I'm very competitive.
So it is about
Yeah,
that.
it is
It's
about
about
that.
winning, having a goal.
Yeah, I was naturally good at it, and then you kind of just get addicted to that.
Right.
Yeah, I did a lot of sports. I played hockey,
Okay.
netball, which Americans don't know. You know what netball is.
Yeah.
Yeah, netball.
The classic English girls
Yeah,
sport.
I did soccer as well.
Okay.
And then a lot of cross country. And then
So your
athletics.
running was
Running was the main.
the main
Running
thing,
was the main.
and your favourite of those
I mean,
activities?
I was good at it, so
You
it
get
made me
okay.
enjoy it more.
And so what was the distances run?
God, I can't even remember now.
5Ks, 10Ks, all of those kinds of
Yeah,
Olympic
just the classic
distances?
ones. I mean, the school cross countries and all of that. I would compete in all of those.
And cross country is literally cross country. It's not on
yeah.
the track.
No, it's not on the track. I would also do the 1500 on the track.
Right.
But I would do the cross country, the main proper cross country.
Do you
was the
remember
main
what
one.
your what's it called? Your speed.
I
your-
don't remember any of it.
A mile. What was your What was your
I
pace?
mean, a
That's
kilometer. I can't remember. I can't remember.
But you were good. Did you win?
I was good.
Did you win?
I would win. Not all of them, but I would win.
Was it a weekly kind of activity? Did you have to do it on the weekend?
I mean, we would train every morning throughout the year. I had
Every morning?
There's 3 girls at my school, 3 of us that did it. And we'd wake up in the morning, we'd go for like a long run in the morning of school. And we'd do that pretty much all year and just like train.
Every day?
That was just our thing. Yeah.
That was your life, literally part of your daily routine.
Yeah, and I loved it.
Wow.
I wish I still did it.
So you stopped when you started modelling? Was that
No,
the
I
end?
mean, I was traveling, so it's different.
Right. Okay. Did you grow up with a love of Indian food?
Yes, I love Indian food.
So your mother cooked
Yes,
That.
really well. Very well.
really well.
Yes.
What is your favourite dish? We're going to get into that, into the favourite things. No, don't answer that
Okay,
now.
okay.
We'll do that in a minute. Okay, so how old were you when you started modelling?
I was like 14, 15.
Did that interfere with school?
I mean, yes, I would miss some days, but my parents didn't let me do it full time until I finished high school. So I was 18.
Tell me about the whole process of being approached, scouted, and how you felt and how all that happened. Was it an exciting thing? Was it a one step followed another quite easily? Was there any kind of doubt or skepticism on behalf of your parents when this was a man who approached you?
It was a woman.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was just really exciting at the beginning.
Right.
Because it was just something that you would never ever think of doing.
Exactly.
And I always had that idea that I would leave New Zealand and do something else. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why. I just always wanted to travel. Every time would drop family off at the airport, I'd always like push their bags and like pretend it was me leaving.
Right.
Like that was always like a dream
So
of
you
mine.
had a kind of built-in
to go
wanderlust.
Yeah.
You're a runner.
I want to
Keep
run
moving.
away.
Keep moving.
No, and then it just like developed really naturally. Like I didn't like have any major dreams, and it just kept on working out the next thing, and then I would get signed to another agency, and then I'm just somewhere else, and it just kind of happened.
One thing happened after another.
Yeah.
At one point in that development, did you, think that you could do it, that you had the whatever it took to be a model? We can maybe just define that for people. But also, when did you have that kind of belief? When did you start owning it?
I think I remember going to castings and doing jobs in New Zealand and not looking like anywhere else and thinking, I can do this somewhere else. Like there's like a market for me somewhere else.
Was there a market for you there?
Not really. A little bit. I would do a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't look like the average girl in New Zealand, so I wasn't
Right.
getting like...
Yeah,
and things
exactly.
are different now, but...
They are different
Yeah.
now. So were you very aware of that?
Yes, I knew.
You
early,
felt
yeah.
limited.
Yeah. And
So-
I had my agents that would tell me that. They'd be like, this might not be your market, but
Right.
we think you should go somewhere else.
So where was the next step?
Where did I go? First, I went to Thailand
Wow.
just to build up my book. And
Shit,
I loved it.
Is that a method?
Well, because I wouldn't really work so well in Australia. Like other girls would go to Australia first, but I don't really have that like
Yeah,
look.
it's the same
so
thing.
they were like, go to Asia, and I shot so many TV commercials for India. And then they were
Wicked.
like, do you want to go to India? We have like an agency that wants you.
Right.
And so I thought, yeah, why not?
You
So I
did.
went. I hated it for the first 3 months.
Where in India did you go?
First, I went to Delhi.
Is that the fashion capital of India?
I mean, there's like it's fashion in Mumbai and in Delhi.
Yeah.
But I went to Delhi first. That's where most of the magazines are.
Is that right?
And I worked every day for like 3 months. It was crazy. And then I
Wow.
went back to New Zealand. I was like, I'm never ever going back. But I'd made so many friends. And my agency,
New Zealand?
in India.
In India,
And
in India.
my agency was like, if you go back, we'll put you in Mumbai this time, and you'll really love it. So I went back, and then I ended up staying for like a year and a half.
Okay, so how at what point after being first scouted did this happen? Was this years or?
This happened when I was like, I left New Zealand at 18. I was 19 in India. 18. I was turning 19 in India.
So
So pretty quick.
So did essentially modelling derail any sort of school?
Yes, I was meant to go to
You would have gone to
university after 1 year of modelling. That was kind of the plan.
And what would
to
you have
take a year
studied?
off? Sociology. That's what I wanted to study.
Okay. So sort of you didn't know, and that's the one of those.
Yeah, that is.
You didn't
yeah.
want to go. You had to study something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the one.
Yeah.
Did your parents want you to study and come away with a degree?
I think
Is there pressure?
there. Yes.
It's a stereotype,
Yes,
obviously.
Yeah.
That Indian parents want their kids to have a professional.
Yeah. I mean,
diploma.
my mum was definitely worried about it, but my dad,
Didn't
he
care.
wanted me to do what I wanted to do.
Right.
And my mum eventually came around, and now she's obviously happy. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, so
Yeah.
she's happy that it all worked out.
Okay, so you didn't answer the question though. The first one, which was at what point did you know that you could do it and that you were enjoying it? Or was that did that come fairly
I think
easily, naturally,
I
and
loved
quickly?
it straight away. I
You
think I
loved
liked it straight away. And it's an adjustment at the beginning. But
So what for you is the most enjoyable part of the process? Of a job, of a day?
I think it's fun to meet different people every day. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think I could go and do the same thing every day.
Right.
I like meeting different people and doing different things. I travel all the time. It's just exciting.
Right, exactly. The constant motion of it all.
That's such a boring answer. I feel like everyone says like the travel, but it's true. Like
The travel,
it's
yeah.
you don't have a mundane lifestyle, so it's
Right.
You don't get bored of
It
it.
keeps you stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
And was there a moment where you thought, I really could actually make a living out of this and this could be a career? And at what point did that happen?
I
That
think
you
I was.
knew it in
I was
your-
really lucky. I always did a lot of commercial modeling, so
That's right,
I
you were
made
making money. You made
from
money.
the beginning. So
And how were making TV commercials
yeah, I did a lot of TV
different
commercials.
from editorial and or walking? And where do you see yourself?
I mean, now I do pretty much only. I still do shows every now and then if it's a direct booking or something, but it's pretty much only commercial, and it's kind of always been very commercial. But I still love shooting editorials. I mean, that's always the funnest thing to do.
But is the money important for you?
I mean, yes, it's important because
It's a
you
job.
can't like
It's a freaking job.
pay your bills with the free dress you got at a show.
That's right. So what is the vision, the plan of action, and does it come from you? Does it come from your management and the people around you? Where does that come in the process? Identifying what you are, what you have to give, and then what you have to make ultimately in this business.
I think having like really good agents to help you kind of like to shape where you're going and what you're doing helps so much. Otherwise, you're kind of just floating around and you don't really know what you're doing.
And so how do you as the model know what a good agent is?
I mean, now I know because I've been through it, but I don't think you know at the beginning.
Right. So it's
You
just
don't know.
luck and
It's luck.
and experience.
Yeah. And you have to be able to stand up for yourself, and that takes a long time to learn. As someone young, a young woman, like you don't have your family around.
Right.
That's kind of the biggest like advice would be to just stand up for yourself and say what you want instead of like waiting for things to happen.
Were you always alone in the world traveling from the beginning?
Yeah.
So you never had a chaperone in your parents at
No,
any
but at the
point?
beginning I'd only go for 3 months at a time and go back to
3
New Zealand.
months?
Yeah. But I mean, yeah.
Every parent's going to be worried sick with 3 months
Yeah, I
away.
mean, I'm sure
so
they
you were just
were.
used to that lifestyle
Yeah.
now. Okay, so you went from, so you had India
India.
as...
So Thailand and India.
Thailand and India were the basic sort of building blocks of your career of how to model.
Yep.
The experience of doing it all day, every day,
Yep.
hours put in. And so then what happened?
Then I signed with an agency in London.
Now, how did that happen?
How did that happen? I went to London because one of my friends, and my best friend still to this day, one of my good friends I met in India, is from London. So I went to London and stayed with her and met with agencies, and she set me up
was a
with
model?
her. She was a model.
Right.
She set me up with her mother agent, and then ever since then, that's been my mother agent who's placed me around the world.
Okay. So again, that was just sort of circumstantial,
Yeah,
luck
yeah.
and fate or whatever it was.
Everything you do in life is through people you meet.
What do you think a mother agent's role is? How important are they? And how do you sort of foster a good relationship with a mother agent?
I think you just need to have someone that actually cares about you and not...
How do you know that they do? What are the markers or what are the proofs of that?
I think if
what
if something's going wrong, something's happening, someone's sick, you need someone to support you and actually not just worry about the money that you're missing out on making, and actually
care for you as a person.
Yeah, care for you as a person.
So you actually have to like them.
Yes.
You have to like them as people.
I don't know if you have to be best friends with them, but you have to have that mutual understanding and caring for each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that comes just as a sort of part of being a human being. Fantastic. So money, body, sport, and sort of, I don't know how to put it, but is it the sort of Victoria's Secret kind of market that you're going for ultimately?
I guess,
is that where the mother load is?
No, I think I just shoot a lot of swimwear and lingerie, so that's like the
Swimwear
brand
and lingerie.
people think of, I guess.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I do a lot of that sort of.
So you knew that from quite early on?
No, actually, that only started happening probably like 4 years ago.
Okay.
Before that, I wouldn't really do any lingerie or anything like that.
And nudes.
Yeah.
I gotta show this picture. Do you? Don't make that fine. What a nice, happy picture that one is. So you're very comfortable naked.
I am comfortable. I've always been comfortable.
You always have been.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a problem.
I think that's just like a personality
You didn't
thing.
have to get over that.
Not really.
Fantastic. So how do we end up in New York? So London, and what was that
London?
like being in a big city?
I loved it. It was always that was like my dream of the place I wanted to move to. So I got
Right.
there, and then I went to Paris, and I loved Paris, and then came here for Fashion Week to New York, and I like fell in love straight away.
So how long were you in London for? How long were you in Paris for?
2 years-ish in London, and then moving between Paris and London. Before I moved here, I was in Paris full time, probably for 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
Properly, I guess.
So how was that different from London for you?
I think I love Paris. I
You
love
do?
it. Yeah, I love it. I think really good work. All of the hair stuff, which I do a lot of, is over there. So
Hair as well?
it made sense. Yeah.
So this is the GQ cover. Again, it's sexy girl.
Yeah.
That is your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, I guess.
And how did you get that? How did you get this one?
I don't know.
You just got a booking that day from your agent.
This is a photographer that I had worked with in India, and she was in New York, and she was like, "Do you want to shoot together?" And then GQ bought it.
Oh, I see. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens?
No, it was for GQ India, and then they bought it and then they used it for the cover.
Okay. Yeah. That
Yes,
makes sense. That makes
yeah.
totally sense. Now, do you have competition in terms of being, or are you considered famous in India? Because
I
you've
don't
had sort of
know.
international fame.
I don't think famous. I don't think famous.
You don't think famous yet.
No, I mean, yes, I've worked there a lot. I
At
don't
what
know.
point do you cross over and become a name in a country like that?
I don't know.
What do you have to do? What do you have to do?
Bollywood film, I guess.
That's true. Have you ever been asked?
Yeah, I have.
You
A
have?
lot. I started going to a few castings at the beginning, and then I was like, no, this is not for me.
So
I don't
you-
speak Hindi.
Right.
It was really
You'd have to
hard. They were
te-
doing the dubbing thing, and I
You
feel like
didn't
if
wanna
you're
be
gonna,
dubbed?
no, I feel like if you're gonna do it, you need to do it right. Don't like half do it.
And there was no pressure from your mum, for instance, to say,
I
come
mean,
on.
she would love that.
That's right. Come on,
She would love
become
that.
a Bollywood star.
No.
Is there more money to be made as a Bollywood star? Potentially,
Yes.
right?
So much money.
So much
I
money.
mean, like Hollywood,
That hasn't
right?
been...
It's bigger than Hollywood.
Of course.
Yeah.
That hasn't been a real temptation. No.
No, it's not something I would do.
You're not going to do it?
No.
Okay, at least you know that.
Yeah. I knew early on that I would not do that.
Right.
It's
Okay.
not like a passion of mine.
Right.
I feel like to be an actor, you need to be very passionate.
Absolutely. Okay, so New York, where does this factor in? Are you visiting or are you...
No, I live here.
You
I've
live
been
here?
here for 6 years now.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I'm old.
You're old. You're a veteran. You are.
Yeah.
6 years in New
6
York.
years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it went by really quick.
So what do you want? What would be the ideal dream, cool job for you? And what
I would
more
like
do you
to
want to achieve?
I would like to do a like Chanel beauty campaign or something. I would love
Doable.
that. Doable.
Well, no, well doable. In this age, in this particular
Yeah.
sweet spot of diversity now,
Yeah.
have you found that has actually made a difference?
It has a little bit,
You're
but
being-
I
you're-
do sometimes feel like sometimes you go to a casting or you go to a job and you're like, oh, they needed like one like brown girl and I'm that person. You know what I mean?
But
you
are
do
happy
think
to be
that.
The
I mean,
token?
yes, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, there should be more than just maybe me.
But that's been great.
But it's good. But it's good. It is good.
Love life.
Yes.
When? How long? When? How long? Take me through that. How is
I
it? Is it easy being a model?
Yeah.
Traveling as.
I mean, I'm about to get
It is.
married, so.
Are you?
Yes.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you meet your fiance to be or fiance?
We met at a bar in Brooklyn through mutual friends.
That simple.
Yeah.
And
Easy.
what was it about him that you fell in love with, and why you want to marry the guy?
He's very funny.
Is that what you look for generally?
I don't know, but
He is.
he's very funny. Like we have a good time all
Right.
the time. Yeah, it's just like I don't know, it's just at the right time, right? You meet the right person.
Right.
He was the person. He's the right person.
And had you had long-term boyfriends or
I'd never
not?
lived like we lived together. I'd never lived with someone before, but I'd had like 2 years would probably be the longest relationship before I met Scott.
Okay. And is he American? With a
No,
name like
he's
that?
Australian.
Is he Australian?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
that a selling point?
I don't know. No.
Your Antipodean
It's funny because when you
roots?
move overseas, it's like, I'm sure you experience this, where you hang out with a lot of people from like your home country, weirdly.
And you did?
Yeah, like
And-
Kiwis and
Yes?
Australians. There's a lot of Australians here.
Was there a rivalry back there, back home?
Yeah, in like the same as like Canada and America.
Okay.
Yeah.
But once you're abroad and expats,
Yeah, like
you're
brings
all
you
part
together
of the
a little
same
bit.
thing.
Yeah, and you always know like so many of the same people, and
Does he live here now?
yes.
Okay. So you will get married, and you'll have babies.
Yeah, not straight away, but yeah, eventually.
Okay. And obviously your mum and dad approve.
Yes, they've all met.
Has he been there? They have met.
Yeah, he's been twice. He went and asked for my hand in marriage with my dad, like
Wow.
old school.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
That's great. So have you got it all worked out?
Yeah, we're getting married in January in New Zealand.
Amazing. What's your philosophy of life? What have you learnt in your
Of life?
of life?
That's a big
Nothing
one.
less. What's it all about?
I don't know.
for you?
I don't think you ever figure out what it's all about.
Uh-huh.
I just think being a positive person, being kind to people, just that's really it. I feel like being a good person.
Yes. Has that served you well?
I think so.
In your life and career?
I think positive things happen to people that are positive and put that out there.
Are you a nice person?
I think so. I think I am.
Are you easy to live with? Will you be easy to be married
think so.
to?
Yes. We've lived together for 2 and a bit years now, so.
Oh, okay. That's perfect.
We're still together, so.
That's great. And that's the time that you either commit or you...
I think so. Yeah. We've been together for almost 4 years.
Okay, even better.
But we've lived together for half the time.
That's fantastic. That's so good. So what is there left for you to do?
I mean, there's a lot left.
What are your ambitions? And are they all strictly to do with fashion? Okay, so what was...
No, I mean, I still study. I study online at university, so I went and like almost finished that sociology degree. I've been doing it online from the same university in New Zealand.
Well
so
done.
You can do it online. I think I'm about to finish that, so maybe I would do something completely different.
How long would you be doing this for? If
I
they
mean,
kept calling?
so far I can't just quit now. I feel like maybe 2 or 3 years.
You still have a lot to do?
Yes.
So
My agency's good. They keep me super busy.
What do you want to do that you haven't done? What's the
I want
number one?
to do that skincare campaign. I want to do that beauty campaign.
Yeah. Not for a particular brand. It doesn't matter.
I mean, Chanel ideally, but Bobbi Brown maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's going to happen.
I hope so.
Do you do beauty?
Yeah, I do a lot more hair than I do beauty, but yeah.
And skin?
Yeah.
Like, do you get to be the bodies and the stuff on skincare packages and
no,
stuff? Like
I
in
haven't
France
done
and the
that.
Vichy and the Cliniques and all that?
I haven't done that.
Ah.
No.
I would have thought there was a market for that. For
Yeah,
you
I
as
mean,
well,
maybe I
with
need to
money.
spend more time there now.
What is it about New York that you like in relation to Paris? And if you had to choose between those two cities?
I mean, I speak English and I don't speak French, so
Yeah.
number one,
Yeah,
positive
easy.
for New York.
Easy.
I like the attitude in New York. I like that you can just like walk in somewhere and not be anyone, and people. I like that acceptance in New York. I mean, I love Paris just because it's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
And I love my agency and I have friends there, but I think New York is my place. Yeah, New York is definitely my place.
And lastly, let's talk about any advice that you could give to
Okay.
anyone watching who might be looking at you thinking, God, she's had such a long
that
career.
want to be a model?
That want to be a model or
Okay.
who want to work in fashion generally. Or just be successful in what they want to do.
I think there's a lot to say in sticking around and like making it happen, because people give up so easily on their dreams. I think if you like stick around, work really hard, always show up, I don't know, I feel like it works out a lot of the time.
Did your training as a runner and athlete and sports person help you realize that you actually had to do the graft?
I don't know.
Or you just
Maybe,
enjoyed doing
thinking
it?
about it like that, maybe.
Because you actually enjoyed it.
I do enjoy it, yeah.
So that's part and parcel of who you are. Mm-hmm. You like making shit happen and building stuff.
I do, yeah.
And so it's not so much of a challenge for you. The hard work.
I think at the beginning it is, and then you just get used to it, and then you just make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the determination not to give up
Yeah.
on your dreams before they have a chance to materialize and manifest. Mm-hmm. Just keep at it.
Just keep at it.
Knock on the doors.
Yeah, just keep showing up. Someone's going to eventually have to say yes. They can't say no forever.
Ashika, that's so great. Never take no for an answer.
Yeah, just keep knocking at their door. They have to answer sometime. It'll get annoying.
Fantastic. The squeaky wheel.
Yeah.
Wheel gets the
Yeah.
oil. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for coming. That was
thank you.
a real pleasure. You're,
That
very
wasn't so
inspiring.
bad.
But it wasn't bad, was it?
No, it wasn't that bad.
And
I'm shy.
You are shy?
I am.
Are you shy?
I don't know. I'm shy with stuff like this. I feel shy.
But were you a shy child?
Really shy child.
You were.
You have to like force yourself to not be shy. So it's like you pretend you're not shy.
Not everybody does. Not everybody's shy. I think maybe half the population's bold,
Yeah.
right? So for the shy person, okay, let's talk about this actually quickly before we go. And that is, how does the shy person deal with being in the spotlight and being in such, an attention-heavy environment where it's always about you and the focus is on you all the time?
I think you like, I personally psych myself up for something. Like for this, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. So it was perfect. That's the best way for it to be sometimes. Because otherwise you overthink it and get really worried.
Are you an overthinker?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
And for castings, I would like really like just pump yourself up a little bit.
Right, a bit like sport.
Yeah. Do a little,
positive
if it's really
visualization.
important and you really want to be out there, just a little shot of tequila before you go in.
Yeah, no, exactly. And shows, have you done lots of shows?
Yes, yeah.
You have done. Okay, so would the Victoria's Secret thing be something that you would welcome? And that
yes, I mean, I
just
casted for the show this year. I cast this.
Oh, you are?
I cast for the show every year, yeah.
What does that mean?
I mean, they keep calling me back
you
to
are
cast
Victoria's...
for it. No, to go to the big casting, you know, they film it and it's that whole thing.
So how many years have you been doing that? And
I just went to the 3rd casting this year, but I didn't get it.
Oh, shit, I was going to say 3rd time.
Yeah.
Next year,
That's
4th
what I
time lucky
said.
because you're a fucking Taurian who's never going to give up.
But I keep showing up, so maybe next year they're just going to have to say yes.
That's right. That is going to be your philosophy made real.
I'll be like 70 and like at the casting.
I love it. And they would have changed the rules by then.
Yeah, they won't be ageist. It will be everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is incredible. Very inspiring with that positive attitude and willingness to feel the fear and do it anyway, right? As the shy person.
Yeah.
Does that make you in love? Easy or difficult to have a relationship with? I mean, has it always been the man who has had to approach you and to make that?
Yeah, I think it has been a little bit.
It has.
Which
Because
is
of your
really bad.
shyness.
Because I would never approach someone.
Have you missed out, do you think, on knowing some amazing people, some beautiful people with the shyness? So in other words,
Yes,
you had the
probably.
desire, but you were never acting on it.
Yeah, probably.
Out of shyness. So you think shyness has actually cost you some experience in life?
I mean, I don't feel that loss because I don't know what it would have been.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm sure.
But no regrets
there's
otherwise.
situations
But
like
there are
that.
no regrets.
No, not now. But I think now I've learned to deal with it because now you just like have to push through until you get to that point where you're not shy in front of that person anymore because you've just like forced yourself to talk to them.
Can you overcome shyness, do you think, in your life completely? Do you think you can transform into a confident person? Because is shyness about confidence?
I think I'm confident.
Okay.
But
so
I'm not going to go
and
and shout like, "Hi, I'm Ashika in the room." Like that's just not my personality. I think shyness is my personality a little bit.
Right.
I don't think you can get rid of it.
You hold back.
Yes.
You're a bit more reserved.
Yeah. But then I have to like force myself to not be like that, and then I'm fine because then you've already like got going. You've got the momentum, so then you can just keep going.
Do you think being an extrovert is an advantage to being a model?
Yes, definitely.
Do you see lots of models who are extroverts and therefore work because of that, because of the personality being
because people want to work with fun people
and energy
at the end of the day.
Can you pretend to be fun?
I'm trying now.
right now, this is it. You're seeing it in real time.
Yeah, it's like you just have to fake it for a little bit, and then you feel comfortable, and then you can be natural, right? It's just that initial thing. It's just like walking in the room.
Have you ever had to? Do you ever feel in control in a situation on a job? Can you control the mood of a set, or are you really dependent on and reactive to the photographer?
I think it's a team thing, but
can you overcome a chilly environment? Can you actually do that?
I think so. I think sometimes it depends. I mean, everyone goes there. Everyone wants to have a good time. People don't want to go and stand around and have a bad day. So I think people are open to it, but sometimes it can be like, I'm sure you know, like sometimes it's just like doesn't work.
Well, I know because I believe that it's the responsibility to a large degree as a photographer to create the atmosphere on the shoot.
That must be so much pressure because you show up and it's kind of on you.
It's on you, but I guess you're used to it, and photographers want the control.
Yeah.
I want it to be on me. I want to be making the decisions, and I want to be in control. I think photographers, by and large, are controlling.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, they're controlling the environment through the little lens, and so I think it suits photographers. But also, we're all very, very different and individual.
Yeah.
Is there a type of photographer that you get on with, warm to, work with better or best? Or is it just about how you're feeling at the moment?
of like qualities that I would. I feel like I get along with most people I work with.
Yeah.
I
What
mean,
makes you
there's
particularly good at what you do? Why would I give you a job? Why would I give you a job? Apart from the fact that you're fucking not leaving my door and knocking on it.
I moved in. I've brought my bags.
Already. I love that quality though. That determination. You don't know?
I don't know.
What is it?
I think I'm good at what I do, and I think I will show up and I'll do a good job.
You're going to show up?
But then it's so weird to say with modeling because it's really, a lot of it's just based on what you look like, so I don't know. It's a combination.
But you should know and realize there should be absolute, total confidence in that part of the equation.
Yeah.
Because all of those years of doing the job make you good at the job.
Yeah. And also, by the time you arrive at the job, they've already chosen you out of other people. So they already like what you look like, hopefully.
They want you. You're wanted.
Yeah.
So that shouldn't be a doubt. I guess the doubt is living up to their expectations. And is that
and people expect you to show up and be really fun and loud and crazy as a model all the time.
I think as a photographer.
So it's a lot of like...
To be honest, from a photographer's point of view, none of that matters.
Yeah.
All I care about is that you're able to give me a beautiful picture as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
As quickly and as efficiently as possible. But so all of us can keep the energy going. Yeah. So it's about how you're best and most efficiently using that energy of the day, that creative energy. So
if you're channeling into the work,
comes quickly and easily, then it's flowing.
Yeah.
It's when it doesn't that things start to get funny, don't they?
Yeah.
And then confidence goes because, again, you're the generator of that.
And then
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think you're really perfect for the job, even given all, because I actually also think that the fact that you have to try, that you're overcoming, shows that spirit.
I think a lot of people do that.
Every day, all the time.
That don't say
Aren't we?
that,
Isn't all the world a stage and we're all just players?
Yeah.
Aren't we all just putting on our hats of what a father and a son and a...
We're all faking.
We're all faking because we all don't know what the fuck anything is.
Yeah, I mean...
And we're making it up as we go along.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
And concentrating on what makes you feel good and what gives you pleasure is the surest way to have a happy time of life. Yeah. Go where it feels good, but be aware also that maybe you have to do some work along the line. Yeah. Just a little bit.
Just work towards it a little bit.
Or let go. Or let go of the expectations.
Yes.
It's a dance, isn't it? It's the incredible balance of life that we're all in at any given moment. But you're such a brilliant faker.
Oh, thank you.
You do it so well.
Thanks.
That it's fantastic. You got it down. All I can say, Ashika, is that you have perfected it.
Oh, thank you very much.
So thank you so much for coming, being here, and sharing of that energy right here today. Lots of love. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone. Bye. I actually
Am I allowed to wave?
Wave at the people. It's going to be on the internet.
I'm so excited to see it. I'll probably never watch it because I'm too scared.
No, you're going to have to watch it, and it's going to be brilliant for you to watch how amazing you are.
Do you edit it, or are you doing it like in...
This
It's
part,
just a whole thing.
I just run it all.
Okay.
You know. And then I'll edit the little things for 60 seconds for Instagram. Obviously, the 60 and 15 seconds that allow you to do that. So that's great.
Fun.
It is fun because it's so fascinating. I mean, I'm always...
I was shaking a bit.
I'm always...
I don't know why. It's so weird. No one's even here.
That's so weird. I'm constantly entertained by watching these fucking things.
Really?
I'm
going to go home and
I'm fascinated by myself. I'm fascinated by just seeing two people interact, their physicality.
Yeah.
You'll just learn so much about yourself.
It is good for you as
well. How you come across to the rest of the world, which you do not
It's so hard
get
to watch yourself, but it is important.
And even hear yourself.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the worst part, actually. Right?
No, it's great. It's great.